Hello, students. Welcome to the live stream tonight. I am your teacher, Robin Shaw. I have been an English teacher a very long time. I've been on YouTube a very long time. So if you're new, welcome. I like to see new students, but I also love to see the older students, a lot of whom I consider my friends. Now, tonight is the Q&A. So I'm not going to talk about homework, not going to talk about videos. I am going to answer your questions, and I hope you have English questions to ask me. Just get my digital whiteboard ready. All right, for your wonderful questions. Let's erase all this. All right. We don't need that right now. All right, so I'm all ready for your questions. Let's check the chat. I asked you to prepare your questions earlier, and I'm always looking for this comment. I can hear and see you, Robin. And Kat, thank you very much. I like those questions or those comments. We can hear and see you. Thank you. All right, going back, I'm going to jump back to the questions. Layla was the first student. I got green tea here. It was so hot, 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 hot. That's a little too hot. And Layla has the question. First question, Robin. I thought the first question would be Robin, when do you shave? Robin, is this live stream going to be the last one in 2020? Well, no, it's not going to be the last one. Did I say 2020? 2022. Is this going to be the last one in 2022? Not at all. Of course, I'm still doing the IELTS Insider live streams with James, and this will not be my last live stream. I might do a lot of live streams this week. So, no. Quick answer, no. Pallavi, hello, teacher. So happy to see you today. How are you today, teacher? I am doing well. How are you doing, Pallavi? Oh, hello, Emmanuel. Hello. Pallavi says, teacher, suggest to me a good English grammar book, please. Pallavi, I do not suggest any grammar book for anybody watching me now. If you are able to watch me and understand, you do not need a grammar book. I am not a grammar teacher, which means I do not think studying grammar is the way to learn English. I am more of a reading teacher. So, Pallavi, I would suggest reading books, not studying grammar. So, books, I don't have many books back here. I got some IELTS books and some other books, but I do have an example. I'm not going to say the title because people will order the book, and I am not recommending the book. Pallavi, the best kind of books I think you should be reading are these graphic novels. You know, they got pictures, they got words, they're interesting. These are the books I recommend to my students, not grammar books, these graphic novels. So that's what you should be reading. That you're going to learn more from that than studying a grammar book. All right. Sleepwalker. I'm scared of I'm having memories of Sleepwalker's questions. Sleepwalker. All right, let's get into it. This is testing me. I know every question from Sleepwalker is a test. Number one. How many do you have? Just two? Okay. Number one. It doesn't have a melody or any musical structure. His songs are always strong on melody. Why do we use the article in one case and not in the other? A melody and on melody. Okay, he doesn't have a melody. Okay. His songs are always strong on melody. So it's going to be used as countable and uncountable right away. So I'm going to go to my assistant here of Oxford. Now, actually, I'm just going to go to Google because I don't have the answers to every question in the world. I know some of you think I do. But my feeling right now is it's both countable and uncountable. And yes, it can be used as a countable noun or an uncountable noun. Both are acceptable. I'm just seeing if there is a rule of when we use it countable, when do we use it uncountable. Mm, so it's countable as just a tune. Mm, this is going to be complicated because I don't think anyone really thought about this in detail, but I'm going to have to give you the quick answer. Sleepwalker, good for you to realize that. But melody is sometimes used as a countable noun. So we're going to use and sometimes it's used as an uncountable noun. Uh, so I would give if you're focused on the detail of melody, maybe use the article but if you're just commenting in generally, maybe it's uncountable. That's the best I can do. Let's go on to question 2. What is the difference between the words subtleties and niceties? Where are you getting these words? It's going to be in the definition. I don't even use those words, but and we're going to go to the digital whiteboard, I think, for this one. Let's go to the whiteboard. Let me get that set up. All right. Subtlety says a small but important detail, the quality or state of being subtle or hard to notice. Nuance, we're adding a very slight difference in appearance, meaning, or sound. And nicety, number 3, a detail or small difference that is only obvious after careful thought. So what's the difference? Well, they're all subtlety and nicety are small details. I guess nicety has that extra that is only obvious after careful thought. Now, I'm not an expert on these words. Well, I use nuance probably more than subtlety and nicety, but um, there are probably specific situations we would use subtlety and nicety. And I'm sorry, Sleepwalker, I don't use these words, so I'm not an expert. All I can say for a quick answer is uh, subtlety is hard to notice, and nicety becomes obvious after a thought. Oh, that's a really, really hard one. Jeez. That is You brought in the, and it's funny because the nuance, nuance is an important word to understand because there's such a nuance between subtlety and nicety that I cannot even distinguish. You got me, sleepwalker. You got me. Where are you? Where did you see that? And where are you using that? Because I don't even use these words. All right, got to move on. Sorry. Pallavi says, please check my sentence, teacher. There's an individual line for getting the graduation certificate. There's an individual line. Maybe you can just say there's a line for getting your graduation certificate or graduation diploma. I don't think we have to say an individual line. We could just say a line. Line usually means one line. So there's a line for getting your graduation diploma. I don't know if we our certificate. I think for high school we're going to use diploma, and university we're going to use degree. Certificate is more of not high school, not university. Number two, doctor. Where's your article? The doctor checks the patients individually. You forgot your article, and that brought up a point about articles that I'm going to quickly teach right now. So let's go to my board. So the articles that every student has difficulty with right here: indefinite article, and the. Uh, Seems very confusing or causes students a lot of confusion, but you have to use them. You have to identify nouns. So when we have a noun, and let's stick in a picture of something. I know what kind of picture to put. It's the first time I'm using. All right. All right. So what's that? What's that? What's that picture of? Uh, what's that? What is that? So a lot of people, when you're a young student, your teacher teaches you vocabulary as one word and labels. So when you're in kindergarten or whatever, the teacher's going to go around the room and say chair, light, boy, girl. And that is probably the worst way to learn vocabulary in English. The proper way to learn vocabulary in English is to recognize that in grammar, you can label something a name, like here, cat, but there is no grammar. You have to, when you're teaching vocabulary, you have to immediately add grammar, which is articles. So when you're teaching vocabulary, you should never teach cat. You should always teach vocabulary, the noun, with an article. So if I was teaching children, what's this? I would never say cat, cat, cat. I would say a cat. In English, there's no grammar where we just say cat. We have to use grammar. So I would teach all vocabulary with the grammar. So this is a cat, a cat. And then after identify the cat, I would say, what color is the cat? The cat. And if you do this when the kids are young, they're going to be experts on the articles and the. But unfortunately, a lot of teachers don't teach vocabulary like that. They just focus on the words without the articles, and then the damage is done for the rest of that student's lives. So, anyway, Pallavi, I didn't mean to pick on you, but number two there, you should definitely have the doctor. Because there's no such thing as doctor. That's a label, doctor. But if you had a good teacher, they would have taught you a doctor, and you would know that there's always an article before that, or depending on the grammar, you could say my doctor or some other thing, his doctor. Anyway, the doctor checks the patients individually. That looks good. You just need the article. Short answer, you need the article the. 3. I read the word half can be a noun, pronoun, predeterminate adjective, adverb in a sentence. What's half of 96? Roughly half of the class are Spanish and the others are a mixture of. Oh, huh? It's a two-parter. Okay. A, what's half of 96? B, roughly half of the class are Spanish and the others are a mixture of nationalities. C, cut the apple in half. D, my little brother is half as tall as me, half my height. E, the recipe tells you to use 1.5 pounds of butter. Okay. The examples are from the Cambridge Dictionary. Can you explain what part of speech the word half is in these examples? No, I can't, Sleepwalker. You think I know uh, the part of speech of half in each example by without. No, Sleepwalker. I'm very happy because Sleepwalker thought I'm a super genius, but Sleepwalker, I got to disappoint you. I cannot identify quickly. I can do it, but it's going to take me a long time to read each sentence because half is a tricky word, as you know, as you said. Where is it? That it can be a noun, pronoun, predetermined adjective, adverb. So I would have to go through each sentence, thinking about it in detail, and I don't have that time right now, and I cannot do that quickly. That's because half you chose a difficult word. And then why do you need to know the parts of speech of half? That is something no native speaker knows. That is something a teacher over 20 years doesn't know. So my question is, why do you need to know that? Heck, Cavito. Yeah, parts of speech. You're gonna get some words that are, you know, just used in so many different ways. I don't think I've effectively answered any questions tonight. Nasima, hello. All right, let's speed up. When I have a formal conversation or an interview and I mispronounce some words, is it appropriate to correct myself while talking or just let them go? Again, this is not an English question. What would you do in your own language? So, Layla, I'm speaking Arabic. I have a formal conversation in Arabic or an interview, and I mispronounce some words in Arabic. Is it appropriate for me to correct myself or just let it go? Ang Ye In. Hey, Ang Ye Hin. Hello. Mubashir. Hello, teacher. I've got a chance at a university there. I thank you very much because you helped me a lot. Good for you. How do you pronounce your name? I don't know. You got to tell me. Hello, hello. Give me that book. No, I'm not going to give you any book. Hello, 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 hello. Sir, do we say I'm on diet or I'm on a diet? We would say the second one. I'm on a diet. Because a diet here is a noun. I'm on a diet. My village name is Bara Rajar Rajarampur, sub-district in Perjan district of Rangpur. How can I say these in a sentence? I would say I live in, when we're talking about geographical location, big, like city or country, we usually use in. When we're using local neighborhood places, we usually use at. So I'm in a city, I'm in a country, but I'm at the store, I'm at the bank, something like that. So in. But how do I learn English without grammar? Pallavi, all native speakers have learned English without studying grammar, even in your language. You acquire the grammar naturally. Especially at your age, it's very easy to acquire grammar at naturally. You talk to any English speaker about tenses and what part of speech is uh, half the no native speaker is going to be able to answer any grammar question. So uh, you can learn grammar naturally from reading. Your brain is very smart, Pallavi. It will naturally pick up the pattern of grammar. Everybody says whenever I ask about learning English, they say use a grammar book. No, no, no. Those are going to be uh, teachers, non-native English speaker teachers around the world. There's more non-native English teachers around the world than there are native speaking teachers around the world, and they're doing a great job. And certainly non-native English teachers around the world are better at grammar than native English speaking teachers. And when I travel the world and I talk to teachers, I see a lot of non-native English speaker teachers because in a lot of cases, their speaking ability is not at a high level. Uh, Sometimes students are better than the teachers. So a lot of these teachers focus not on speaking; they focus on the grammar, and they believe that if you are always studying grammar, then you are improving your English. This is wrong thinking because I live in a country, Korea, where they study a lot of grammar and they do not speak English. I probably, you know, Koreans are experts at English grammar, but when it comes to speaking, no. So a lot of the non-native English speakers around the world, they focus a lot on grammar. That's good, but it's unfortunate that they don't realize there are other ways. Now, teachers have to give tests. And grammar tests are easy to give. So it's easy to teach grammar, and then you can test the students on the grammar. Getting students to read books, it's hard to test their not English knowledge after they read a book, but certainly that it's not my opinion. There's all kinds of research on this. Students who read books will outperform students who study grammar. They outperform on the speaking. They outperform on listening, writing, everything. Reading books. That's why I'm a reading teacher, not a grammar teacher. So don't touch grammar. Suitable. Suitable. If I get a chance at a university by admission test, how do Americans or Canadians say this sentence? It's an incomplete sentence. You're starting with if I get a chance at a university by admission test. So, Mobasher, I'm not sure what you want to express here. Can you rephrase that question? Hendrik, do you think it is important to have a girlfriend? Well, in Indonesia, they don't really, it's dangerous to have a girlfriend, but yes. I saw those words somewhere. I don't remember. Whatever, Pallavi, whatever sleepwalker is studying, don't study that. Read a book. How to use other and another correctly. I'm going to live in another country or other. I'm going to live in another country. Um, is that true? Noisy keyboard. If here, let's make a simple rule. If you use another, uh, a singular noun is going to follow another. So country is a singular noun. I'm going to live in another country. Country is a singular noun. We have to use another. If you want to use other, plural noun will follow that. So I'm going to travel to another country. I'm going to travel to other countries. So countries would be plural. So other followed by a plural noun. That's the quick answer. Mobasher, we'll make some outside live videos that we learn English daily life, English and phrases for those live videos. Okay, I might do that when I travel. I think I was trying to use individual in a sentence. I think I failed. Try again. What's the difference between hard and hardly? Well, I've made multiple videos on that, and I'm going to. Now, I do have a rule that if I made a video on it, I don't teach it here. Rule, they spent hundreds of dollars to make a video. So, Nasima, here's the link to the best video on the internet talking about hard and hardly. And Fanny teacher will teach that better than me. I heard that a good grammar book, grammar and use. No, grammar in use is a great grammar book, but yeah, I see. I've seen hundreds of students love to learn from that, learn grammar, but that is a way to learn grammar. But again, reading, any student who reads books will outperform the student who studies grammar and use. Now, Grammar and Use is a wonderful grammar book, but it is not the best way. It is not the fastest way to acquire English. Again, studying English, you're studying English, which is a possible way to learn English, but students who use English or acquire English, which means you're indirectly studying it, they outperform on tests, speaking. This is how native speakers learn. So, Grammar and Use, probably the best grammar book, but I would never recommend it because you're going into a certain study way of studying grammar. And you can study that book for 1 or 2 years, and perhaps your grammar knowledge increases, but did it really improve your English? I would say no, because I already know the students. I've directed students away from grammar books. Students who study reading, which I teach to my students in Korea. They're ready for the IELTS test in 1 year, or without studying any grammar. Uh, in my example, which one of these verbs do native speakers use naturally? I divided doing my homework into three parts. I split. I split. I split doing my homework into three parts. Well, split is going to be two parts. So divided works well for three parts, and I split it into two parts. So that would be a better way to think of it. When you split something, you have one thing, it's split into two things. And three things, okay, divided works better. So you got three things, you use divided. You got two things, use split. Can you say I divided it into two parts? Yes, you can. Can you say I split it into three parts? Yes, you can. But I suggest divide three parts, split two parts. Hey, don't say sorry here. Pallavi says, oh my God, that's a critical mistake. Don't say sorry here. We're learning. But how can we know when to use an article then? Well, if your teachers have not been teaching you articles, you're in big trouble, because that is very difficult to pick up and master as an adult. It's not impossible, but certainly I have students that go to Canada, America, UK, and those students study at universities there, and those students become fluent. They're in the UK for 4 years, and they come back to Korea for visit, and I have coffee with them, and they're speaking with a British accent and everything. And then I check their writing, and their writing is beautiful, except the only thing they still cannot master is articles, the an, and the. So that seems like a very difficult grammar point to pick up as an adult. So that's why it's very important to really get into the children. Don't teach them vocabulary with a single word. Always attach an article to it. So, how do we know when to use articles? Well, as you know, articles are complicated. There's a basic usage, and then there's a more complicated usage. And sorry, Sleepwalker, I cannot go into articles now, because usually most teachers teach the basic ways to use articles, but there is an advanced way that is really hard to teach, and there's so many exceptions. Like, students love, hey teacher, I want the simple rule that I can remember so I master this grammar point. That's what the students love, and I understand. But some grammar points have a lot of exceptions, and there's a lot of special situations to use that. And it's like, that's hard to teach and that's hard to learn. So, Sleepwalker, I think you're doing well with grammars or with articles, but you don't have to be perfect at articles. Uh, Even some native speakers are not perfect at articles. It's a struggle. I know it. I know it. Robin, do you suggest us to learn most of the nuance for some similar words like sleepwalker asked about? No. The nuance is you can only learn nuance through reading and listening. No teacher can teach nuance. So this is the advanced level of vocabulary. You can study vocabulary. That's why people study vocabulary lists, but they don't get the nuance. You're only going to get nuance from watching that movie, listening to that podcast, reading that book. Keep getting the quantity of that input. You're going to understand nuance. No teacher can, no student can study nuance. What is a half of 96? What is half of 96? So I'd probably use an article here. Uh, Both are okay. Again, you chose a sneaky word, half, and I don't want to get into it because half would take me about an hour or two to research all the different usages of it because it's a tricky word. I agree, it's a tricky word. Um, but what is a half of 96? What is half of 96? Both would be used. I would say the second one might be more common. Why? Don't ask me. I need to research. I learned for a long time, but I speak not well. Well, Thongkam Infana, time to start speaking. Join the WhatsApp group, send voice notes. I got a voice note only group. Let's check it. Let's check that voice note only group. See who is participating there. I see Manar, Riaz. No, okay, Cynthia. I don't see anyone in this WhatsApp now. So bad students. I don't see anyone from watching me now in that voice only group. Hello. I cleaned each individual chair. I cleaned every chair individually. I tried to understand the difference between individual and individually, so I don't know if I use them properly. Well, I'm going to go to the dictionary right now. Okay. So the dictionary didn't give much clues on what to use. I cleaned each. I think it's saying the same thing. You're just using it as an adjective and an adverb of individual as a noun. Individual is a noun, adjective, individual, adverb of individually. So same. Hello, one tick. Watching live from India. Welcome. Uncle Robin, how to improve from intermediate level to advanced level. Uh, study English every day, reading, write, four core, reading, writing, listening, speaking. Do that every day. If you're not doing that every day, you're never going to be advanced. You're never going to be fluent. No joke, students. If your goal is fluent, it's every day, hours every day. Push yourself. Anna Maria, hello. I read the first book. Hi from Morocco. Thank you. Long time no see. Glad to see you live. I'm alive. Will you write in your board those sentences? You got to give me the sentences again, and I got to understand what the question is. So happy that Sunday. Well, this is not the Learn English live stream. So I know you're confused. Hey, Robin answers Q&A on Learn English Live. Well, this is not broadcast on Learn English Live. This is only the daily English homework. So this is not technically I started 10:30 on a Sunday, but this is actually not the same show as Learn English Live. This is the daily English homework random Q&A on Sunday at 10:30. Understand? I don't. Teacher Robin, you're a reading teacher. What does that mean? Well, it means the key to English is through reading. If you're a grammar teacher, the key to learning English is grammar. So I'm going to be reading first, listening second, speaking third, and writing fourth. And grammar, I never teach grammar. Well, I teach grammar because my students don't read. If my students don't read, I have to teach the grammar. But students who read, I don't need to teach them grammar. So when I get a new student and I start with them a reading program and I get them reading and I teach them, okay, how to read and how to answer your questions and how to guess from context. And then every week I meet them, what kind of questions you have. They never ask me grammar questions. They usually ask me questions based on culture differences and nuance. So, if someone is properly studying English or learning English or acquiring English, uh, grammar is not the problem. They'll get it. They'll get it. So everyone here, if you're asking grammar questions, it's because you're not reading, and I understand that. I understand why people are not reading. We live in a world with these evil devices that steal our time, and and Netflix it steals our time, and we don't have much time to read anymore. Unfortunately, that is the best way to acquire English. So I understand that. So I'm here to help the second best way. Salma, thanks, Robin. I think I've never heard this type of speech about grammar. I will follow your advice. Yeah. Yeah, Salma, you're new. I used to do a lot of these Q&As and always reading. I have taught students from zero to fluent over 20 years. There's lots of students I taught level 0 to fluent, and I never gave them a grammar lesson. I gave them books. And on my Shaw English teacher, I have interviews with Fanny from Belgium. She was born in her first language is French. She's teaching English on my channel. She's an awesome English teacher, better than me. And I interviewed her in the videos on the channel, and she said she learned English, but she became fluent through reading. Sarah, another teacher, fluent. She interviewed her. She said she became fluent through reading. These two teachers, not born in an English speaking country, both of them fluent in English, both of them not only fluent in English, able to teach English at a professional level, both of them said reading. No, no, no. I meant the word half exactly. What do you mean? I lost the train of thought on that one. I have done judo for 9 years. I've done judo for 9 years. I did judo for 9 years, but I didn't know. Okay, well, I have done judo for 9 years. Means you started 9 years ago, and uh, you're still doing judo. I did judo for 9 years, so that means sometime in your past you did judo for 9 years. It doesn't necessarily mean you are still doing judo. So the first sentence, certainly you're still doing judo, and the second sentence, it's not clear if you're still doing it. That's tenses, Salma. So I've done judo for 9 years. I did judo for 9 years. Yeah, the second one, it's not unclear if you're still doing it, but the first one, you're still doing it. Robin, I found this sentence on a truck while shopping, nourishing your life every day. So I tried to fix this by adding more words like this. Drinking milk is important to nourish your life every day. So what do you think? Yeah. It's still awkward. Nourish your life. We don't use that expression. So is that an advertisement? Drinking milk is important. Drinking milk every day is important for your health. That would be better, because a native speaker wouldn't say nourish your life, but that could be an advertisement. An advertisement could say nourish your life. Oh, my teachers always taught me single words without articles. So, yeah, that's a big problem. So, if your teacher says, hey, students, what's this? And students say, cup. When I see those classrooms, I'm like, oh, you are hurting your students. You have to teach vocabulary. What's this, students? And they all say, a cup. That's a good teacher. A cup. What's this? Phone. No. A phone. What's this? A pen. Always teach with the articles. And then they recognize nouns need the article. Because there's no such thing as pen. There's only a pen. Of course, we don't always use articles. You could say my pen, or you can say two or one pen or two pens. There's variations, but at the basic level, using the articles, you got to teach it immediately. Hello, there is a sentence. Half of the living expenses are rent. Could you explain to me why we use are, not is? Half of the living expenses. Okay, interesting question. Well, you have half of the living expenses are rent. Who's saying our rent? To me, it sounds like there should be is rent. Half of the living expense, half of the living expenses is rent. It should be is rent. So Yuri, I'm going to ask, where did you see our rent? Let me check that. I want to say is rent, but I didn't see your sentence on Google, so I don't know where you got that. But you need two things. If you're going to use are, you got to say half of the living expenses are rent and food, or something like that. But if you just got one item, it should be is. So Yuri, where did you see that? Here we go. How often do you shave? Once a year. What is the first thing you do after you get up? I don't think anyone's asked me that before. What is the first thing I do when I get up? I check my phone, like everybody else, don't you? First thing, what's happening? Did I get any messages? No messages. Do we say clean air or clean air? Or clear? Sorry, I misread that. Do we say clear air or clean air? Clean air is better, but you know, the air is clear. You could use that in a sentence. There is clear air. We would probably wouldn't say, but you could say, "Oh, the air is very clear." I think clean air is best. The air is very clean. The sky is clear. That's that's a better place to use clear. So I'm gonna go with clean. Hello, you Tiff. I'm not active in only voice note. Harry 300. He yelled at the other driver. He yelled at the other drivers. Yes. Could I say the first sentence is wrong because other is followed by no? The first sentence is not wrong because it is not followed by a plural noun. Driver is a singular noun. He yelled at the other driver. That is correct. He yelled at the other drivers. Oh, sorry. He yelled at the other driver. And now I understand. And you're already getting into the exceptions. See, that's what happens. I give a simple rule. It's always exceptions. Um, let's make a new simple rule. And there's not going to be because the difference between another and other is 2 pages with 12 different points. So Harry 300, no, you're not wrong. And I cannot give I don't want to start teaching determiners because that's what I have to teach. If I start mentioning determiners, I'm going to scare a little few people away. That would be a good video though. I'll tell you what. That's a good video. Another verse other. I'll tell you what. I'll make that video tomorrow and upload it to Daily English Homework. Tomorrow or Tuesday, I'll make that video. What's the difference? How do we use another and other? So that's a good solution. I like that video. I like that topic. And it's not so easy to explain here with quick rules. So I'll put it up. I really detest your beard. When will you shave it? Maybe in a month or two. Hello, Shireen. Robin, do you prefer a big city or a small town? I prefer the bigger city, I guess. Boy on top, hello. I hope the other live streams come back soon. Well, I'm going to travel soon. They're not going to come back for a few months. I feel there's a nuance between individual and individually in their meanings, not about grammatically. What do you think about it? Well, the nuance is individual. If it's a noun, you're focused on the noun. If it's an adjective, you're focused on an adjective, and individually is focused on the verb. So every time there's noun, adjective, adverb, there is a nuance because they are focused on a different part of speech. So uh, that's a quick answer. let's see, individual. Yeah. So if we had another example of noun, adverb, adjective of a word, yeah, there will be a nuance in how in their meaning. Is there any difference between articles and determiners? Yes, because articles are determiners. All articles are determiners, but not all determiners are articles. So article comes in under the umbrella of determiner, but not all determiners are articles. And again, these are article and determiners. These are words students should not know. If a student knows the word article, so there was a mistake in their English education. If the student knows the word determiner, there was a mistake in their English education. Now, you guys studied grammar, so your teachers taught you articles, determiners. Again, if you're reading books, articles and determiners are not, shouldn't be in your vocabulary. That's called meta language. Meta language or meta English is you're learning not the language, you're learning how to describe or teach the language. And so many students are so focused on the meta language that you don't need to know any meta language. If you say I like English, you don't need to know parts of speech. You don't need to know what I is, you don't need to know what like is, you don't need to know what English is. You just need to be able to say I like English. You don't need the names of the what part of speech that is. Of course, if we go into grammar, then you need to know. But it doesn't help you to speak English if you know parts of speech. A lot of teachers will think, "Oh, I got to teach all my students all these determiners." Uh, it's not going to help. It'll help improve your grammar, but not really help you improve your English overall. Robin, did Boss go on vacation? Boss is right there. He's sitting behind me, watching, monitoring. Shireen, why do you stay in Korea? Because my job is here. I think the most important problem is because most of our teachers and schools, our education system, we're focusing on grammar. Uh, I don't see it as a problem because that was the problem is we need to teach English, but we don't have a lot of native speakers. So this is a solution. It's not the best solution, but the best solution is bring in native speakers, but a lot of places don't have the budget to do that. So I would say good for your country, Layla. They did have some English, and grammar is great to start. If you don't have native speakers walking around, grammar is a great place to start English. And I'm not going to blame your country for only focusing on grammar. I understand. Okay, we got to teach. And sometimes when I'm teaching, I can't, uh, I can't teach the best way. I have to teach a certain way because that way is available at the time. My priority in this moment is studying English. Could you please pronounce pry or it? That's actually four syllables. Pry or it. Priority, 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 priority. May says, is it correct that phrase? What phrase are you talking about, May? Oh, is it correct the phrase the air is clear? I use it to describe a situation we can do something freely at the time. Uh I mentioned the air is clean is the best, but certainly you could hear a native speaker say the air is clear. This is speaking. It's possible. Oh, the air is clear, so clear. Uh, is that the best word? I would say no. Or the air is fresh would be a better word, but he yelled at the other driver. It seems there are only two drivers, he and the other one. Yeah, I'll get it. I'll have to do a full video on that. Robin, I noticed that on phones, if I want to delete the messages from chat room, I have to click on clear the chat. They don't use clear the chat room. What do you think? Well, you're doing both. You're clearing the chat room and you're also clearing the chat. You are doing both of them. It's just how you think of it. I'm checking right now what it says on my phone. It says clear chat. It says clear chat. So all the chat, I guess, would be uncountable of the messages. Clear the messages, clear chat. But you also clear the chat room. Uncle Robin, what is your motivation to help other students learning? I think Grandpa Robin is more appropriate. I don't know if May knows. May, I do have a beard right now. It's a very big, long, messy beard. Hendrix called me Uncle Robin, and I suggest Grandpa Robin or Santa Robin for the Christmas spirit. What is your motivation to help other students learn English? That's all I can do. That's all I can do. I have no other skills. Scrolling our phones first thing in the morning. Shireen? Robin, according to your first words, you might do some live streams on the channel. So could you please do it a little bit easier from today's time? Is that possible? I will do the live streams randomly. You don't have to be, excuse me, you don't have to always be at the live streams, Layla. Are you going to get a new boss when you travel? Maybe. Teacher, when you gave homework in back days, I learned a lot of new things every day and I was focused into English learning more, but these days I'm becoming lazy day by day. Wow. What a powerful message, Pallavi. I was going to say Layla. Pallavi, this is a very powerful message because you made me feel very, very bad and terrible because you're telling me that I was helping you to improve your English, but because I reduced or stopped the daily lessons, I you're becoming lazy. Anna Maria, same here. I miss daily homework. Me too. Well, the problem with, as I said, the problem with daily homework is too many people cheating. So it's very hard for me to check the homework with a lot of cheaters. So if I do start up the daily English homework, probably I cannot check all the homework as much as people want. So can I ask you for a gift, Grandpa? If I travel, and I'm going to travel soon, if I travel the world, when I travel the world, I do not give gifts, and I do not want gifts because I have to travel very, very light. So usually I just travel with one backpack, one bag, and I go to many countries. and I cannot bring gifts. And if I meet you, please do not give me a gift. I appreciate the just meeting you as the gift because I travel so light, I cannot take gifts. I will probably lose it. I will probably throw it away, or customs will confiscate it, or it might be stolen. So, no gifts from me except my smile. If I met you, May, I'll give you. Smile doesn't work very well with May, so I'll give you a hug, a body smile. Pronunciation homework, people won't be able to cheat. Oh, yes, they do, because they don't watch the video. Sleepwalker, you are in the VIP chat rooms, but there are other chat rooms with other students. So when I gave the pronunciation video, it's very important that the students watch the videos. And when they don't watch the videos and they see, oh, Robin has a list of 10 words, and usually someone posts the 10 words in the chat, and then you got 20, 30 people wanting me to check their pronunciation. So they want me to help them, but they didn't help me by watching the video. So they cheat. That is also frustrating too. So in the videos, if you remember, I did put some ways to find out the cheaters. Now in the VIP groups, students are awesome, but in the general groups, students are cheating. So Sleepwalker and even everyone here, most of the people here are in the VIP groups. You don't really see the other groups where the people are abusing things, using me, exploiting me on a daily basis. All right, thank you, Pallavi. Shreen, especially, those are the same. That's an easy one because those are the same, especially and especially. Those are the same words. So the problem would be the nuance. And you want me to teach nuance. Hmm. That might be another video. I'll make that video too tomorrow. Might not upload it tomorrow, but I'll make it. So, Shireen, you got some good ones here. Sympathy, empathy. I'll make the list. Can we ignore the cheater and give us daily homework, please? Yes and no, because I'm overwhelmed with messages in WhatsApp and on YouTube, and it's really hard to find the messages from the good students. They would be buried. I don't know, May. I don't have the answers today. I will do my best. See what happens. Robin, I think rarely we can find loyal and honest teachers such as you. You put most of your time. I'm not here for praise. Shafika Almas, when it comes to improving English, which is better to watch native or secular? Native speakers are the best to talk to. If they're not available, second language learners are great too. Talk to anyone you can. So you might upload several videos before traveling. I might or might not. I'll do my best. I'll see. I will check it tomorrow. If it another and other. The problem is if I teach another, it's I don't want to damage students because it's so confusing. There was one video I taught. What was that video? And I noticed that I probably caused more confusion than taught the student. What was that video? I made so many videos. So, I got to check. There's a lot of there's a lot of grammar points I don't want to touch because I know, oh, this is just going to confuse the students. So sometimes I have that problem. I got to think, is this video really going to help my students? They want to know the exact difference between other and another in every case. And I got to go through every case, every situation, every exception. And are they going to learn it or are they just going to be more confused? So that's one question I have to check of these videos as I'm making them. Is this really going to help or is this going to confuse the student? And if I think, oh, yeah, students will become better after this video, I will make it. If I think students will not become better, I won't make it. I have a lot of problems with active voice and passive voice. Just released from Mike Teacher on Shaw English. Watch that. And I'll put the link here. There you go. Abdurraham Murad. You watch that video. Mike will teach you everything you need to know about active passive voice. Will you put up the Christmas tree? No, no, no. There's no Christmas here in my house. Teacher, even I'm well, will you put up a Christmas tree, Sleepwalker? Teacher, even I'm feeling lazy about learning English these days. Please, teacher, say something to me. I have been talking to you. All right, you need motivation. Don't 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 stop learning English. Let me see. Pallavi, read. Try to find some sort of book you enjoy reading and read it, Pallavi. Um, because learning English has to go beyond just me. I love you, Pallavi, for supporting me and watching my videos. That's great. I'm sure you learned a lot, but I'm not always going to be around. And I hope you enjoy English without me. So I hope you become a reader, or you're watching English movies, or you're listening to English music, something like that. You love that. Even TikTok in English, whatever. You love it and you keep doing that every day. And I'm not involved. I would be very happy if you did that. If you only learn English because of me, that's not enough. I appreciate that, but everyone, you got to do more. Si, Thu, Ang. Excuse me, sir. I want to know the difference between idiom and phrase. Well, idiom is a special uh, sentence in English where the words and meaning of the sentence don't don't match the meaning, or the vocabulary doesn't match the meaning of the sentence. So the most common one that teachers use, it's raining cats and dogs. So an idiom, that's an idiom. Not so common as teachers make it sound to be, but if it's raining cats and dogs, uh, it's not actually raining cats and dogs. So the words of the sentence don't match the meaning. The meaning of the sentence is it's raining a lot. That's an idiom. Now, a phrase can be an idiom. It's raining cats and dogs. Raining cats and dogs is a phrase. That means it's a common grammatical way native speakers speak. So there's phrases in every sentence. So a phrase, what's a quick way to define a phrase? A grammatical unit, a grammatical chunk. Well, I'll keep it simple. So idiom and all all idioms contain phrases. All sentences contain phrases. Phrases is very common. That's in everything. An idiom is very special sentences where the words and the meaning of the sentence don't match. I hope that helps you. I think there are some topics we need to know from native speakers like you. Well, you're all improving your listening right now. That's the benefit of everyone right now. You're improving your listening. Oh, so Sleepwalker puts up the Christmas tree. I don't put up a Christmas tree. I can't learn English without you, teacher. How to memorize vocabulary forever. Don't memorize vocabulary. Well, don't memorize lists, Arshad can. You just got to keep reading. Uh, if you do look at vocabulary lists, and I understand some students study that way, yet you do have to practice writing it. Uh, Students who just practice lists are never going to learn anything. You have to do your best to write and speak this vocabulary. In Korea, there is a common way of, if you work at the private school, all private schools give lists to students every night. And they tell the students, you have to memorize 50 words every night. And how ineffective is that system? But the mothers, they want that. They think that is helping their son or daughter, because the private school says learn the 50 words. So the students go home, they're in their room, parents sees them trying to learn this vocabulary, memorize this vocabulary, and the next day they have a test. So the parents are happy because they can visually see the students studying English, and the next day there's a test, so we have some sort of evidence that my student is getting better at English. And then you go one month later and you ask these students about that vocabulary, they're not going to know. It's gone. They memorized it for the test the next day. After that test, it's all gone. So what an ineffective way of studying vocabulary. So they're just looking at short-term outcome. Reading, you got students who read, they will encounter vocabulary words multiple times. They will learn those words in context. They will learn the nuance of the words. So Arshad Khan, if you don't like reading, you are not going to improve your vocabulary. The only way to improve your vocabulary to a native speaker level is reading or listening to native speakers. That input. Memorizing lists is a great way if you have a test tomorrow. If you do not have a test tomorrow, you don't need to be memorizing lists. Now, if you do have a list of words, that's okay. Use them in your writing. Write a diary, write some sentences, practice sentences. Make an effort to memorize them. Write, practice those words. Try speaking with them. Michelle, hello. Robin, never ask me a question about James. You ask James. So Sleepwalker asks, will James continue to stream on the IELTS Insider in January? You ask James. I'm not answering any James questions forever. You ask him directly. You should ask me if I'm going to do the IELTS Insider in January. And never ask James about me. Ask me directly. I really noticed that learning vocabulary and expressions by seeing them almost very often from time to time. Also, the speed of learning depends on the ability for each of us. Yeah. I prefer quantity of studying. Robin, when will you have your live stream about your next vacation destination? Maybe tomorrow. Sometime this week. I promise I'm going to talk about traveling sometime this week. But Anna Maria, I'm not. I don't think I'm going to get to Colombia. Maybe in the summer, I'll go to Colombia, but not winter. How cold is it in the summer? Facebook is from Facebook. There's about 2 to 5 people. Facebook is not a good place to stream. I'm streaming only on the YouTube channel and the Facebook Daily English Homework. Is there a letter whose function is telling us that we have already given someone something and that person has already received it? If there is, what's it called? A letter? I'm confused by the word letter. Is there... Okay. I found a handover letter. I never heard that before, or just a handover. I never heard that before. So I'm not sure if it's commonly used. No, I never heard that before. What's a handover letter? It looks like a business word. I think it's one word. I don't know. It's a business word, so not never seen. I have a lot of business experience working at companies. Maybe we could call that handover letter, the first one. Handover letter. That's what I'm seeing on Google. Handover letter. I mean, lazy teacher. Yeah, everyone's saying they lazy. What about you, Robin? I thought you would be on vacation. We will see. We will see, Sleepwalker. I have a few tricks to do live streams while I'm on vacation. We have same weather all year, Robin, warm weather. So maybe summer 2023 is a good time to go to South America. Can you give me some reading resources, teacher, like books or articles? I am terrible, May, because it also depends on your level. It's best for you to go to a bookstore, grab the book, open it up, read the first page. If you can understand over 90% of the first page, That is a perfect book for you. If you understand less than 90%, put the book back and look at a different book and choose a book not about English or studying English. Choose a book that's interesting, that's going to be an interesting topic to you. Another trick people do is they read the book in their own language and then they read it again in English. That's also an interesting little trick. Carlos, I have a question about when I can put a preposition at the end of an interrogatives questions. For example, where are you from? Those types of words are a little confusing to me. Can you help explain? I know, Carlos. Where is it at? Uh, you're looking for a simple rule. There's going to be no simple rule for that. And of course, that's more of a spoken thing. Why are you saying interrogative? Why don't you say question? Just check. Carlos, I'm trying to get you an easy rule. That's actually a good video. So I might make a video on that. Geez, this live Q&A has given me four. So, Carlos, no easy rule. That's a spoken action where people are putting the question, but I'll make a video on that and I will upload the video, Carlos. So please subscribe to the channel and I will upload it soon. Why you do the live stream randomly today? I need watch hours. I have to get the daily English homework YouTube channel monetized, and I stopped making videos, so I don't want to lose the hours that I've gained. So to become monetized on YouTube, you need 4,000 subscribers. I have 8.5 thousand subscribers, so that's not a problem. But you need 4,000 hours of monetization. Right now, I'm at 3,400. But you have to get all that monetization within a year. So I don't want to lose hours. So I have to be a little more active because I stopped for a month. Bad teacher, bad Robin. So I gotta be a little more active before I go on vacation. Also, my students, hey Robin, where are you? Hey. I do have an obligation and a duty to my students. A lot of you do support me. You do help me out on the Learn English Live or the Shaw English as a channel membership, and I do appreciate the students to do support me there. And I have a duty. You're telling me you're buying me coffee every month, so yeah, I gotta come on and say hello and teach you something. So also there's that, and also I finished my university, so I have a little more time. So I just decided, hey, I gotta do all these things. I gotta get back in the groove before the my vacation. Sleepwalker, did you like today's questions? Well, a sleepwalker, it it is very frustrating because it is extremely difficult to do the English Q&As because students come on, they ask the question, and they expect the instant answer from a super teacher. Well, I'm not a super teacher, and I'm not able to give instant answers. So, like your question with half, nobody in my life has asked me about half, but I know half is going to be a really tricky word, and I know I cannot give an instant answer. So I know that's going to take me a while to prepare an answer, but with half, I would never make a video on half and how to use half because you don't need that would be a word I would say don't study the meta language, don't understand the mechanics of how to use half, just learn how to use half, just memorize the ways we learn half is the best way to learn half. So anyway, you asked that question. I don't have an instant answer, and I can't answer your question. So it's frustrating because a lot of students ask me questions. I don't have the answer. I don't know. The true answer to a lot of these questions. I don't know. Let me check. Oh, now I understand. So Sleepwalker, not only did I not answer your question today, I will never answer your question on half. I did not write it down as a video to make because that is a video I don't think would help any student to know the meta language of half in different sentences. Is it an adverb here? Is it a determiner here? That would just confuse students, including me. And no native speaker is going to be able to answer. No teacher in the world will be able to answer that question without research. Hey, Carlos, thanks. How many countries are you going to visit next year? Well, in 2023, I'll visit at least 10, maybe more. Shireen, do you recommend taking one-on-one pronunciation lessons? Will it help more? Well, Shireen, um, no, no. I think again, I don't favor American or British accent. Most people in the world do not have an American or British accent. American English is not the language of the world, and British English is not the language of the world. There is an international English where people bring hundreds of different accents. And so I would say if I talk to you and I didn't understand some words, then I might think, okay, you need to work on pronunciation. But if you have an accent and you pronounce all the words clearly with your accent, I would say never study one on one pronunciation. So, Shireen, how well do you speak English? Send me a voice note in the WhatsApp group, and I'll probably tell you no, you don't need one on one pronunciation. How many countries are going to visit next year? I answered Cat, but I'm going back to Cat. Cat, where do you live? Robin, by the way, how many steps did you walk so far today? Uh, today, not that many today. 16,000, 17,000. Do you think daily English homework will be monetized before Learn English Live channel? Learn English Live is monetized 3 years ago. Learn English Live is monetized. Philanthrop Philanthropy is giving time and money to cause aimed at making the world a better place. What does it mean, cause aimed? I don't know. What is? I've never seen that. To a cause? To a cause. A cause is an issue we're trying to help or fix. So is giving time and money to a cause, but I haven't seen cause aimed. That seems a little strange. No, there is no cause aim. To a cause, not cause aim. All right, I'll finish up in the next few minutes. So, any final questions or comments, get them in. Oh, Raid says, I would like to inform you that I did a blood sugar test today in the morning and the result was fantastic. I think I'm not diabetic patient now. Well, you're not now. You were before. Uh, yeah. Well, Raid, healthy eating. Your life is different. You gotta eat healthier. Robin, I would like to know when we use on time in town. That's a good one too. I'm not going to answer you now because that's a good video. On time, in time. Quick answer. It's more of context. So, was John late today? No, he was on time. So the context of that situation we're talking about people being late. And then maybe if there's a deadline, did he finish the project? Yes, he finished it. You could say on time, but you could also say in time before the end of the project. So Janina, context is important for on time, in time, because the students, again, nuance, but context is also important to a lot of the vocabulary. And students know I just want the meaning of these, but actually the meaning of these often overlap. So there's different situations we use on time, in time. That's what I got to teach, and that's what I'm going to do in another video. So my question was your favorite. Sleepwalker, in the half question, is it my favorite? Well, it's interesting, but it makes me look like a bad teacher. I liked it. Everything people ask me, I like, but oh, I can't answer it. So, students, oh, it's a bad teacher. Can't answer the grammar question. Wow, so many countries. Yeah, I have no children. Where are you from? I'm from Canada. I know this is off topic, but it is effective to learn a language, not with other resources, but only with textbooks. Because my friend is still using textbooks, even though she's an advanced Japanese. No, I don't. I don't agree, Michelle. You're bringing in your friend's story, and I would like to talk to your friend and figure out if she's at an advanced level. But no advanced student should be learning from a textbook. There's so many authentic ways to be learning a language. You should be far away from a textbook. If you're saying advanced level, because you could be watching Japanese shows, you could be reading Japanese newspapers. There's so many authentic ways to learn language. The only argument you could say is she likes that style. Now, if she likes that style, I would say to her, try to like a different style. But if she insists, I like this style, then continue doing it. So sometimes as teachers, we want to point to other ways, better ways, but students like this way. Okay, then keep doing that way. So, so May, I am definitely going to say to every student here, as soon as you can, get away from a textbook. Textbook, if you continue to study from a textbook, you'll be 40 years old, you'll be 45 years old, and you'll still be learning from a textbook, because once you get into that system, you never leave it. And you're just continually doing it that way. Other people, they get away from the textbook, they make friends around the world. If you're in business, uh, one benefit of my experience is I've worked at companies and I've traveled many countries in regards to business. So I've seen how other people in business learned English, and they did not study a textbook. They learned, I traveled to China, Malaysia, Taiwan, Sweden for business trips, and all those countries. I learned how they learned English, how they, learn English to do business, and none of them studied a textbook. They all constantly, traveling and doing business, and very effective, because the reasons they needed English, the reasons they used English was to get money. And that's a great motivator. May, the phrase "your other half" is used to refer to someone's husband or wife. That's correct. Usually we say your better half. You can say your other half, but usually we say, "Oh, where's your better half?" as kind of a compliment and a joke. Cat, so will you tell your one worst habit? My one worst habit, I guess, is I don't shave every day. May, what does monetize? Well, monetize means I make money. Right now, daily English homework makes no money. So you got to think, I put in probably 300, 400 hours so far this year in the daily English homework, and it has not made money. So it's very important to monetize the YouTube channel so I can make, so YouTube will start putting advertisements. They might already put advertisements on my video, but when I'm monetized, I can get some money from that. It's not going to be much. It's not going to be much. Layla, you are a contributor on the Learn English Live channel, which you are actively giving me coffee money every month, Layla. Thank you for that. But you cannot, you cannot, uh, you cannot, you are, you, how can I say this? The daily English homework has no membership program because it is not monetized. Once you're monetized, you can get a membership program. All right. Good night, Sleepwalker. So congratulations to your Learn English Live channel. Well, Learn English Live was monetized within 1 month because I think 1 or 2 months, because Esther made videos, and Esther is very popular. So I think took about a month or 2 months, and Learn English Live was monetized so fast. So, the daily English homework and the IELTS Insider, both of them are not monetized yet. It's take a lot longer. What time is it in your country now? It's 11:14 a.m. Is it important to get more views? I got a watch time, not views. So I need watch time. People watching a long time. Okay, don't worry, Sleepwalker. Let's go fishing, Robin. Yes. All right, Janina, I'll make that. It's on the list. I got 6 videos on my list. That's why I'm saying, sir, I also think she's learning in the wrong way. Well, it's not wrong. It's just there's better ways. So, it's like a diet. some people diet by just not eating food. All right. Well, that's one way to diet, but another way to diet is controlling your food, eating better food. There's different ways to do a diet. So we're playing a sport. So it's like golf. Golf requires a particular swing, how you position your body, how you move your body. But some people have a different way to do the swing. And, you can argue, well, this way is the better, but some people already know this way. So let them do that. Uh, so if I talk to students, you all have your different ways of studying English, and I have to respect that. And I do respect that because you're all here watching me now. So, um, how can I say this? You're already perfect on that part. You're watching me now, but uh, if I looked at each student here and how they studied individually, everyone's going to be so different in how they study English. So many different methods, and all I can say is great. Whatever you've done until now is great. Was it the best way? Probably not. Was it a good way? Yes. Yes. And of course, I always have to promote the best way, but there's probably no student in the world who's doing it the best way. It's just my job is to say, do it this way. When I study a language, I do follow my own advice. So when I study Korean, well, Korean's different, but because I had to take a test to get my visa. So the Korean test is a grammar test. So I had to study grammar. But when I did when I passed the Korean grammar test, I never studied Korean grammar again. I went right into reading and listening and all those things, and that's a much better way to learn. And I know some of you have tests. And I memorized a lot of vocabulary because of the test. But after I finished the test, the way I studied vocabulary is, yeah, I would read it, practice writing it. Japanese is so hard to learn. All languages are hard to learn. Are some languages harder than others? Well, each language is complicated. I'm sure Russian is, how to read and write Russian would be very hard for me. I guess there's probably research on, I'm sure there's research on coming from English, like me, which languages are most difficult. And you're coming from Russian, which languages are more difficult. So I think it wouldn't match. So I think that's which is your first language and which is your target language. That is to be considered. So as a Russian studying Japanese, is that difficult? As a English speaker studying Japanese, I don't know, but that's why there was not any advertisements. Yeah, it's not monetized. Which team do you support in World Cup, sir? I support your team. Which one do you prefer more, rice, noodles, or pizza? Um, I would love pizza, but it's too fattening. So my second choice would be rice, and my third choice would be noodles. What about you, May? May, do you like pizza, rice, or noodles? May, when I go visit you, are we gonna eat rice, noodles, or pizza? Let me know. Russian too. That means you're also fluent in Korean language. No, I'm not. I stopped studying Korean. I don't study any language anymore. The reasons for that, I don't have time. I have to make a choice, study a language or help you to learn English. There's no room for both. I heard one Japanese speaks Russian fluently. Yeah, I'm sure Russia's an important language. Russian is an important language. I'm going to check the top languages in the world. Russian is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th. Ranking is 8th. I'm looking at Google here. It says English, a billion, Chinese, a billion, Hindi, 700 million, Spanish, Russia, 258 million. That's a lot of people studying Russian. What Russian words do I know? I used to know more when I was younger. Das vidanya. What else? I knew a few. Vodka. I think learning Arabic is one of the hardest languages. Again, is it an English speaker learning Arabic or a Russian learning Arabic? Every language is difficult. Every language is difficult. Honestly, I think the most difficult language that has been researched as the most difficult language is Icelandic. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. Icelandic, reading and writing, is the most difficult language to learn. But every language is difficult. Do you know about Saudi food? I am not a foodie. I don't know. And I am not a foodie. So can't wait to do your homeworks. Okay, thank you for your support, May. Can be either of them, all that are available in Malaysia. So you said either. Either means two. You put three options, so it can be any of them. Neither or either is going to be two options. What is your preference, is what I was asking. Svidanya. Shreen, thank you. All right, let's finish it up. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, if you've been watching. All I can say, this next week will be active on the Daily English channel, and the IELTS Insider will continue as usual. So I got a list of 6 videos, and I'll try to make them. Again, I have to decide, am I helping the students with this video or am I confusing them? And I'll do my best to make the videos listed today. All right. My teacher 24 hours a day is not. Oh, thank you, Raid. Thanks. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and I will see you soon. Tomorrow, maybe. Bye.